we're just going to look at what we're going to make. So today we are going to be making our beautiful little bunny to go into our bunny bag. So this is the bunny. Let's take her out of her bag. So here she is. Mine's got a little poorly on, but I will get that sorted out later on. Okay, so you're going to need 2 pieces for the body, 2 pieces for the back of the head, 4 pieces for the ears, 2 pieces for the front of the head, and 1 piece, I've got 2 there, 1 piece for the sort of front, the front of the head, sort of, that's for this sort of piece here. That piece there goes onto that piece there, and that goes with that. Then you're going to need 4 legs and 4 arms. Okay, so to start off with, all we're going to do is do the limbs. We're going to do the arms and legs, and we're just going to pin them together just like that, and we're going to stitch these at 1/4 inch each all the way around like that. So just go in on the machine and stitch them all the way around, do a back stitch there and go all the way around on those. The ears, we are just going to again stitch them at 1/4 inch. So you're just going to come in with your ears and stitch them all the way around at 1/4 inch. So just come all the way around and stitch them. You can pin them if you want to. They're quite small, so you might not want to. With the front of the face, we're just going to stitch right up here. We're not going to stitch any of the rest of those pieces. So get that stitched up there first, back stitch straight across and back stitch there. The back of the head goes like that, and we're going to stitch this piece. We're not going to stitch this round piece, we're going to stitch that piece there like that. So just stitch right down there like that, and we're going to leave these 2 open. We don't need to do anything with those 2 pieces. So go away to the machine and stitch around all of these pieces in the places where I've just shown you. So these are just really tiny pieces, so you're going to have to go really slow to get them to do what you want them to do. I'm just going to come in just a tiny bit and then go back, and I'm going to go all the way around, but I'm going to keep my edge of my foot. This is my 1/4 inch foot right here on the edge. If you don't have a 1/4 inch foot, what you can do is just measure on your foot where 1/4 inch would be, and then just look at that line on your foot. You can mark it if you need to. I'm just going to put my needle in the down position so it lands like that, and then you can get that to where you want it to be. So this is just about being a little bit slower with this sewing. It's quite hard for me to do it and not hold on to it. So we're going to do both legs. Let's see if I can come around the back of the camera and hold it like that. Maybe I can. Just move it a tiny bit. So if you want to pin it, you can do. Might make it easier for you. Don't know whether that's making any difference with my arm being there. You can't see if that's like that. Okay, and then just do back. Okay, and do exactly the same on your other leg. So do both legs, both arms. Oops. And then I'll do the little face. Okay. It's important that you do a back stitch because you are going to stuff these quite tightly. So if you don't put a back stitch in there, that might come unravelled at the very top, because her little legs need to be quite stiff. You don't have to do them stiff if you don't want to, but sort of how it does. That was the way I did them. Could have softer legs. I want her, you need her to be able to sit up, so you have to have her body quite strong so that she can, she doesn't flop over in the bag. I might just like to make just the bunny. So if I was you, obviously I would keep my hands here and I would do it like that and run along. I wouldn't have my hands out of the way, but I'm trying to make it best as I can so that you can see it. And just move it around to there. So that's the other leg done. Reverse, that's the that one. Now to do the arms. So the arms are slightly smaller. So you can work out which one's which side. The arms are just a little bit smaller than the legs. For some reason I kept saying that it was a mouse. So sorry if I did come out with it as being a mouse. It is a rabbit. So does anyone have any traditions which they do for the holidays? When the children were little, I would get up early in the morning and I would go out into the garden if it was a dry day, and I'd get all the toys which were like rabbits and anything sort of Eastery toy like that, and I'd hide them all over the garden. And then I'd do an Easter egg trail, and I'd have little paper Easter eggs everywhere, so that they'd have to find this, and it would be a trail of Easter eggs, and each one would have like a little tiny chocolate egg hidden somewhere beside it. And then another year I did little tiny envelopes and put a little chocolate egg inside each envelope, and each envelope was a clue to the next envelope. And it was red for one of the girls and yellow for another and blue for my son, and they'd have to go off and find it. And on the times when it was raining, they would all be hidden inside the house with bunnies and all sorts of soft toys which we had at the time, or anything which was Eastery. And we'd always had hot cross buns. I tried to make homemade ones if we could, if it wasn't going to be too busy on Easter Sunday before we'd do all the usual Easter things. And then later on we'd meet up probably with more of the family, and we'd probably go out somewhere if the weather wasn't too bad. We'd go to church if there was a church service on. Not always church services on where we live, because they only did services every so often. So right, so that's I've done both arms. So next thing I'm going to do is the ear, and then we'd sort of do something like that. Or sometimes there was activities on in the hall. And we'd do activities like that, special Easter ones or whatever. always have some craft type activities for the children to do if it was going to be raining. Always make sure they'd have something so that we could do something with them. Try to get them out as they got bigger and that. We tried to go out on bike rides and do things like that and do sort of more adventurous stuff. But when they were little, because there was a big age gap between the different ages of the children, we were sort of like catering for sort of different ability ranges. Of course, as they get older, then they don't really want to do anything with mum and dad. Gets a bit boring. We sort of quite often we celebrate that spring equinox and that sort of thing as well. Do different bits and pieces for that. All depends really what was going on in the village, because we live in a village, so it would be whatever was going on. And as the children got older, they didn't really want to do so many of the little things. It's quite nice now to have the grandchildren again. So we're doing something. I'm going to run that one. So on that one we want to go down this part, not the fatter part out of it. We want to go down this part here. Okay, that's just the back of the head. So we're going to be doing something on Good Friday with the preschool. They've got an activity going on for the children, so we're going to be taking the baby to that one, and hopefully the others might be able to come. We'll have to see. I've paid for them all to go, and it's more of a craft type activity type thing. They might not be able to go if my grandson is due to have a little op, so they might not be able to go because of that, so we'll just have to see. One of my grandchildren should be fine. He's definitely going. The older one's having a little, just his tonsils removed. So that was the little head. So I've just done the face of the little head, the front piece there. So that piece there is just the front of the head, that piece there, and then we're going to take this piece here, and it sort of goes like that. It looks like a plectrum. Is that what those things called? What you use for the guitar, and we're going to stitch just across here like that onto the front of it. So I'm going to move that out of the way, I'm going to come down and I'm going to stitch across there. So that's going on to that very front, just like that. There. Back stitch. And then right down to the end. When you get to that seam line in the middle, just do your back stitch. Okay, and then lift it. And then we're going to come in the other side, like that, and then we're going to do it exactly the same as we've just done. Alright, so we're going to come in here. So you've got it like that. So you're going to come in here, you're going to put those two pieces together, fold that down at the front, like so. And then join those two pieces up across there like that. And you might just find you can pin it if you wish to. You can even tack it if you wish to with this bit if you're worried about not getting it straight. It's really fiddly for putting pins and everything in it, So I found it was just easier for me to do it like this, but everyone's different. You might prefer to do it with some pins or with tacking it in first before you stitch it. Okay. I think I've just caught myself there. Okay, and then just do a back stitch there. Okay. There we go. So that's all your little pieces started off stitching together. So that will be your face. So there is going to be your little face like that, okay? With the little nose coming out the front, just like that. Alright. Okay, so now what you need to do now is just take these back to the table, and we're going to fold each piece so that and turn each piece the right way round. I'll show you how I did that at the table. Okay, so I'm just going to turn the pieces around now. So I've got a plastic tube. I got it from a charity shop. It was in a game, and I thought, ooh, that's exactly what I need. So I've just got a plastic tube, and I've got my piece of dowel. So you need to pop your plastic tube in, and then just push your dowel down, and it'll sort of like push it all the way through. Okay, and this is just what I use for doing these really tight ones, like that. And then you can come around inside with your forceps and just pull the whole thing out like that. And I just found that that worked better than just doing it the other way. I don't know why there's a point on the end of my foot, on the end of my arm. I think that was the arm, wasn't it? So I just found that that was the best way to sort of do this. I think you might be able to do it without the plastic tube. Let's just have a look and see. Yeah, no, I just got that working there. And then just push it out. I find forceps are probably the best because they're nice and blunt on the end, but you can use a pair of blunt scissors or whatever you got. So that is my foot. I think that's a foot. That's an arm. There's a piece. No, other way around. Still having the effects of COVID. It is still killing me. Yeah. Brain fog. I can't get out over it. It's just, whew, it's terrible. I'm struggling so hard with it. Right. That one and that one. So this one was a long stick which had a pine cone on the end of it on a bouquet of flowers I had for Christmas. So when I saw the piece of dowel, I thought, ooh, that's a nice piece of dowel. So I just broke the pine cone off the end. Okay, save that, put that to for the kids so that they can paint it. And I